You have probably heard about Ozempic. Maybe you know someone taking it. Maybe you are taking it yourself, or maybe you are thinking about it. And if you are over 50, I need to have an honest conversation with you about what these drugs actually do inside a body that is already going through the changes of your 5th and 6th decade. Because most of the conversation around weight loss drugs focuses on one thing: the number on the scale going down. And yes, they do that. Effectively. But there is a second story happening inside your body at the same time. And almost nobody is talking about it. Particularly for people over 50, where the stakes of getting this wrong are significantly higher than they are for a 32-year-old. In this episode of Decade Body, we are going to walk through 7 things that weight loss drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy actually do to your body after 50. Not to scare you, not to tell you what to do, but to give you the information you need to make the best decision for your health. This is what your doctor may not have time to cover in a 10-minute appointment. The first thing Ozempic does to your body after 50 is accelerate muscle loss. This is the most important thing on this list, and it needs to be said clearly. When you lose weight rapidly, regardless of how you lose it, your body does not only lose fat, it loses muscle. On average, research shows that approximately 25 to 40% of the weight lost on GLP-1 medications like Ozempic comes from lean muscle mass rather than fat. For a 35-year-old, this is a concern. For someone over 50, it is a serious problem. Here is why. After 50, your body is already losing muscle at 3 to 5% per decade through a process called sarcopenia. Your muscle mass is already on a declining curve. Rapid weight loss on top of that curve accelerates the decline in a way that is extremely difficult to reverse. Muscle is not just about appearance. It is your metabolic engine. It is what keeps your bones strong. It is what prevents falls. It is what allows you to remain independent into your 70s and 80s. Losing it rapidly in your 50s has consequences that extend far beyond how you look in the mirror. The action step. If you are on or considering a GLP-1 medication, resistance training is not optional. It is the primary tool for preserving muscle during rapid weight loss. Aim for resistance exercise at minimum 3 times per week, and increase your protein intake to 1.2 to 1.6 grams per kilogram of body weight daily. Your body needs the raw material to maintain muscle even when calories are restricted. The second thing Ozempic does to your body after 50 is change your relationship with food in ways that go beyond appetite. GLP-1 receptor agonists work partly by slowing gastric emptying. Food moves through your stomach more slowly. You feel full faster and for longer. This is the mechanism that reduces calorie intake. But after 50, this mechanism has additional consequences. Slower gastric emptying means nutrients are absorbed more slowly. For some people, this affects energy levels noticeably. It can also worsen symptoms of conditions that are more common after 50, including gastroesophageal reflux. More importantly, the strong reduction in appetite can make it genuinely difficult to eat enough protein and micronutrients. People on these medications often report that food becomes unappealing. When you are already on a lower calorie intake and your appetite is suppressed, the quality of what you do eat becomes critically important. The action step. Prioritize protein and nutrient density in every meal regardless of appetite. Even when you are not hungry, your body over 50 still requires adequate protein, vitamin D, calcium, magnesium, and B vitamins. Consider working with a dietitian if you are on GLP-1 medication to ensure you are meeting your nutritional needs within a reduced calorie intake. Do not let appetite suppression become nutritional deficiency. The third thing Ozempic does to your body after 50 is affect bone density. Emerging research published in 2024 raised a concern that deserves attention. Rapid weight loss, regardless of method, is associated with bone density loss. The mechanical load that body weight places on your skeleton is one of the stimuli that maintains bone density. When body weight drops quickly, that stimulus reduces. After 50, particularly for women in the postmenopausal years, bone density is already declining. Osteoporosis affects approximately 1 in 3 women over 50 and 1 in 5 men. A DEXA scan at the beginning of significant weight loss is not just a good idea. It is genuinely important. The action step. If you are over 50 and starting a GLP-1 medication, request a bone density DEXA scan before you begin and schedule a follow-up at 12 months. Ensure adequate calcium intake of 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams daily and vitamin D levels of 40 to 60 nanograms per milliliter. Weight-bearing exercise, walking, resistance training is the most effective non-pharmaceutical tool for maintaining bone density during weight loss. The fourth thing Ozempic does to your body after 50 is alter your cardiovascular system in ways that are largely positive but require context. Here is the genuinely good news. A landmark 2023 trial called the SELECT trial showed that Semaglutide, the active ingredient in Ozempic and Wegovy, reduced cardiovascular events including heart attacks and strokes by 20% in people with cardiovascular risk factors independently of weight loss. This is a significant finding. However, some people experience an initial increase in resting heart rate when starting these medications. For people over 50 with existing cardiovascular conditions or arrhythmia, this warrants monitoring. The action step. If you have any existing cardiovascular condition, hypertension, atrial fibrillation, previous cardiac events, discuss this specifically with your cardiologist or GP before starting a GLP-1 medication. The overall cardiovascular evidence is positive, but individual monitoring matters. A baseline blood pressure and resting heart rate reading before starting gives you a reference point. The fifth thing Ozempic does to your body after 50 is affect your mental and cognitive health in ways that are still being studied. There are 2 sides to this finding, and both deserve honest discussion. On the positive side, multiple studies have found associations between GLP-1 medications and reduced risk of dementia, Parkinson's disease, and depression. The mechanisms are not fully understood, but are thought to involve reduction of neuroinflammation, the chronic low-grade brain inflammation that accelerates cognitive aging after 50. On the concerning side, a small number of users report significant mood changes including flattened affect, reduced motivation, and in some cases depressive symptoms. Researchers believe this may be related to the role of GLP-1 receptors in the brain's reward pathways. Food is not just nutrition. It is also a source of pleasure and social connection. When appetite is suppressed significantly, some people experience a broader blunting of reward responses. The action step. Monitor your mood and cognitive function honestly in the first 3 months of any GLP-1 medication. Keep a simple weekly note about how you are feeling mentally. If you notice meaningful changes in mood, motivation, or cognitive clarity, report them to your doctor. This is especially important for anyone with a history of depression or anxiety.
The sixth thing Ozempic does to your body after 50 is create a dependency that requires a long-term plan. This is perhaps the least discussed aspect of GLP-1 medications and the most important for your long-term health strategy. The majority of people who stop taking these medications regain most of the weight within 1 to 2 years. This is not a moral failure, it is biology. The medications work by overriding appetite signals. When you stop, those signals return, and if the underlying metabolic habits have not changed during the period of medication, the gut microbiome, the insulin sensitivity, the muscle mass, the relationship with food, the body largely returns to its previous state. For people over 50, weight cycling, losing and regaining weight repeatedly, has particularly significant consequences including accelerated muscle loss, increased cardiovascular stress, and metabolic disruption. The action step. Before starting a GLP-1 medication, have an honest conversation with your doctor about what the long-term plan looks like. Is this medication intended as a permanent prescription, a bridge to establish new habits, A short-term metabolic reset? The answer should be clear before you begin. Use the period on medication to build the resistance training habit, improve nutritional quality, and address the lifestyle factors that contribute to weight. The medication is a tool, the habits are the long-term strategy. The seventh thing Ozempic does to your body after 50 is change your gut microbiome in ways that are just beginning to be understood. Your gut microbiome, the community of trillions of bacteria living in your digestive system, is now understood to be one of the most important regulators of metabolic health, immune function, inflammation, and even mood. After 50, your microbiome diversity is already declining naturally. GLP-1 medications significantly alter gut motility, how quickly food moves through your digestive system. This change in motility affects which bacterial species thrive and which decline. Early research suggests these medications may have both positive and negative effects on microbiome composition depending on the individual's baseline profile. This is an area where the science is still developing rapidly. What we know is that a diverse and healthy gut microbiome supports better outcomes on any weight management strategy, including medication. The action step: prioritize gut microbiome health during any GLP-1 treatment. This means eating a diverse range of plant fibers. 30 or more different plant foods per week is the current research-backed target. Consider a high-quality probiotic and prebiotic combination. Avoid highly processed foods even when calories are reduced. Your microbiome responds to food quality, not just food quantity. Now you have the complete picture. Ozempic and medications like it are genuine tools that can meaningfully reduce weight, lower cardiovascular risk, and in some cases reduce neuroinflammatory markers associated with cognitive aging. The select trial evidence for cardiovascular protection is real and significant. But for people over 50 specifically, the risks require active management. Muscle loss is the most urgent, bone density is the most underdiagnosed. Nutritional adequacy is the most overlooked. And the dependency question is the most important to answer before you begin. The conversation about these medications needs to include all of this. Not just the number on the scale. Start with one thing this week. If you are on or considering these medications, book a blood test and ask specifically for fasting glucose, HbA1c, vitamin D, full metabolic panel, and request a bone density scan conversation. That one appointment gives you the baseline you need to manage this properly. And whatever you decide about medication, the fundamentals do not change. Resistance training, adequate protein, sleep, movement. These are not optional additions to a medication strategy. They are the strategy. The medication is the addition. Subscribe to Decade Body for your weekly preparation guide. Every episode is built around the same principle, knowing what is coming, so you can prepare before it arrives. If this video helped you understand something your doctor did not have time to explain, share it with someone you know who is considering these medications. They deserve this information too. Know your decade, own your health.